Level 1. The farmer. You wake up before the sun. The sun doesn't wait for you. Neither does the state. You live in a village in the mountains. It doesn't appear on any tourist map. Tourists are never allowed here. Your house is concrete and mud. The roof leaks. The floor is bare. You sleep on a mat next to your wife and your 2 children. Your mother sleeps in the corner. She coughs all night. There is no medicine for whatever is wrong with her lungs. You walk to the collective farm. It's not your farm. Nothing is yours. The land belongs to the state. The crops belong to the state. The tools belong to the state. The shoes on your feet were issued by the state. You will answer for them if they wear out too quickly. You work a plot of land with 200 other families. Rice, corn, potatoes. The quota is set by officials in Pyongyang. They have never touched soil in their lives. They decide how much you must produce. The numbers have nothing to do with reality. The soil is exhausted. There is no fertilizer. The equipment broke years ago. No one has the parts to fix it. It doesn't matter. The quota is the quota. You plant in the spring. You pray for rain. You harvest in the fall. You hand over everything. 70% goes to the state, sometimes more. The local cadre takes his share first, then the military, then the party. What's left is yours. Some years, what's left is almost nothing. During the famine years, the ones the government said never happened, you watched your neighbors die. They swelled up first. Their faces and bellies bloated with fluid. Their arms and legs turned to sticks. Then they stopped moving. You found bodies on the roads, in the fields, slumped against walls. Nobody buried them right away. The living didn't have the strength. You ate anything you could find. Bark, grass, insects, corn husks, rats. You boiled leather belts into soup. You heard rumors about worse things in other villages, things people did to survive, things you don't want to think about. You survived. You don't know why. You don't feel lucky. You feel tired. You have felt tired since 1994. You will feel tired until you die. Level 2. The factory worker. You live in a gray city, built by the Soviets in the 1960s. Concrete apartment blocks stretch in every direction, identical, crumbling, stained with decades of coal dust. Your apartment is on the 4th floor. There is no elevator. The stairs smell like cabbage and damp cement. You share 3 rooms with your family. On the wall hangs a portrait of Kim Il-sung and a portrait of Kim Jong-il. You dust them every morning before you do anything else. A dusty portrait is a political crime. An inspector from the Neighborhood Watch Committee, the Inminban, could visit at any time. You work at a textile factory, producing uniforms for the military. You have worked there for 14 years. You operate the same machine you operated on your first day. The machine is older than you are. It breaks down constantly. When it breaks, production stops. When production stops, someone is blamed. You have learned to fix the machine yourself, using scrap metal and wire, because waiting for official parts means waiting forever. Your shift is 12 hours, sometimes 14, sometimes 16 if there is a production campaign, which there always is. The Supreme Leader has declared this the year of something, the year of self-reliance, the year of revolutionary spirit, the year of whatever slogan they've painted on the banners this time. Every year is the year of working harder for less. You are paid in won, the North Korean currency. Your salary is almost meaningless. The state provides your apartment, your rations, your children's schooling. What your salary can buy at the official stores is almost nothing, because the official stores are almost empty. The real economy happens at the Jangmadang, the informal markets that the government pretends don't exist. Your wife sells homemade tofu at the market to earn enough to buy cooking oil and soap. This is technically illegal. Everything useful is technically illegal. Everyone does it anyway, because the alternative is to have nothing. Once a week, you attend a self-criticism session. You stand in front of your coworkers and confess your failures. You didn't work hard enough. You had a selfish thought. You didn't study the Supreme Leader's writings with enough devotion. Your coworkers nod and offer their own confessions. The ones who confess nothing are suspicious. The ones who confess too much are also suspicious. You have learned to confess exactly the right amount, just enough to show humility, not enough to get investigated. Level 3. The Soldier. You were conscripted at 17. Every male serves. Your service is 10 years, a decade of your life given to the Korean People's Army. The recruiter called it an honor. Your mother cried when you left. She knew what the Army does to boys. You were stationed at a base near the DMZ, the most heavily militarized border on Earth. 1 million landmines sit buried in the dirt between you and South Korea. You can see the other side on clear days. At night, you can see their lights. So many lights. Your side is dark. Your side is always dark. You train every day. You march. You drill. You practice formations for parades that the Supreme Leader may or may not attend. The parades matter more than combat readiness. A perfect parade is proof of national strength. A soldier out of step is a national embarrassment. You have seen men beaten for being half a second off rhythm. You are hungry all the time. Soldiers are supposed to receive better rations than civilians, but the officers take their share first. You eat corn porridge twice a day. Sometimes there is a piece of dried fish. Your uniform hangs loose on your frame. You weigh 30 pounds less than when you enlisted. During the winter training exercises in the mountains, soldiers faint from exhaustion and malnutrition. Some of them don't get back up. Your real job isn't preparing for war. Your real job is construction. The military is the country's largest labor force. You build roads, dams, apartment buildings, monuments. You pour concrete and haul stone and dig ditches 10 hours a day in the summer heat or the winter cold. Your hands are calloused and scarred. Your back aches. You are 22 years old, and you move like an old man. You were told the Americans will invade any day. You have been told this every day since you were born. The Americans are coming. The Americans are planning an attack. Only the Supreme Leader and the Korean People's Army stand between the Korean nation and annihilation. You believed it completely when you were young. Now, you're not sure what you believe. But you keep that uncertainty locked in a place so deep inside you that even you can't find it most days. Doubt is the most dangerous weapon in North Korea, more dangerous than any bomb, and it is aimed at yourself. Level 4. The Teacher. You teach at a primary school in a mid-sized city. Your students are 8 years old. They wear uniforms and red scarves and pins with the Supreme Leader's face over their hearts. They are beautiful and thin, and they look at you with enormous eyes, waiting to be told what to think. You teach them to read using the works of Kim Il-sung. Their first sentences are about the greatness of the revolution. Their first math problems count bullets and tanks. How many American imperialists did the brave Korean soldier defeat? If the factory produces 500 uniforms and increases production by 20%, how many uniforms does it produce for the glorious army? Every subject circles back to the regime. History is the history of the Kim family. Science is the science the Supreme Leader has endorsed. Music is revolutionary songs. Art is portraits of the leaders. There is no subject that exists outside the ideology. You are required to teach things you know are not true. Kim Il-sung did not single-handedly defeat the Japanese. Kim Jong-il was not born on a sacred mountain while a double rainbow appeared in the sky. North Korea is not the most prosperous country in the world. You know these things are not true because you are educated enough to suspect them, and you have heard enough whispered conversations over the years to confirm your suspicions. But you teach them anyway. You teach them with conviction because your students will be tested on these facts, and their scores reflect on you, and your scores reflect on the school, and the school reflects on the district, and the district reflects on the party. If the children fail, you fail. If you fail, your file gets a mark. Enough marks, and you are sent down. Some of your students are the children of party officials. They are better fed, better dressed. They sit in the front row. You give them the best grades whether they earn them or not. This is how it works. You learn this on your first day. Some of your students are from families in the wavering class. They sit in the back. They will never go to university, no matter how smart they are. Their futures were decided before they were born. You know this. You teach them anyway. What else can you do? Level 5. The police officer. You are BOWIBU, Secret Police, Ministry of State Security, the most feared institution in the country. People cross the street when they see your uniform. People lower their eyes. People stop talking when you enter a room. You like that. You need that. Fear is the only tool that works in a country where nothing else functions properly. Your job is to find disloyalty. Disloyalty is everywhere. A farmer who tunes his radio to a South Korean frequency. A factory worker who makes a joke about the supreme leader. A student who draws a mustache on a newspaper photograph. A wife who tells her neighbor that the rations are getting smaller. These are all crimes. These are all your responsibility. You have a network of informers. Every apartment block, every factory, every school, every military unit has someone who reports to you. Neighbors inform on neighbors. Children inform on parents. Husbands inform on wives. You receive reports every day. Most of them are petty. Someone said something. Someone looked wrong. Someone has too much food, which means they're getting it from somewhere they shouldn't. You investigate. You visit homes unannounced at 3 in the morning. You search through belongings. You confiscate anything suspicious. A USB drive with South Korean television shows is enough to send a family to a labor camp. A Bible is a death sentence. You have sent people to the camps. Kwan Lee So, political prison camps. You have signed the orders and watched the trucks take them away. Whole families, 3 generations, grandparents, parents, children. The guilt of one becomes the guilt of all. You don't think about what happens to them inside. You know, but you don't think about it. The camps are mines and farms where prisoners work until they die. The average life expectancy is 5 years. Nobody comes back. The people you send away simply cease to exist. Their names are removed from records. Their neighbors pretend they never lived there. You pretend you never knew them. You do this because if you don't, someone else will. And if you hesitate, if you show mercy, if you look the other way, then someone will write a report about you. And then the trucks will come for your family. Level 6. The propagandist. You work for the Korean Central News Agency in Pyongyang. You are a journalist in a country where journalism does not exist. You write what you are told to write. You report what you are told to report. Every word is approved by the propaganda and agitation department before it reaches the public. You write stories about record harvests while you know people are starving in the provinces. You write about the supreme leader's military genius while you know the army can barely feed its soldiers. You write about the hostile imperialist Americans plotting to destroy the Korean nation while you know the real threat to the Korean nation is coming from inside. You craft the mythology. You describe the supreme leader's visit to a factory where he provided on-the-spot guidance that immediately tripled production. You describe his inspection of a military unit where the soldiers wept with joy at the sight of his face. You describe his childhood brilliance. He could drive at age 3. He composed operas at age 6. He shot 11 holes in one the first time he played golf. You write these things, and somewhere inside you, in that locked room where you keep everything real, you feel something you can't name. But you keep writing, because the alternative is the camps. You are good at your job. You are one of the best. And being good at propaganda in North Korea is its own kind of prison, because it means they will never let you do anything else. Level 7. The diplomat. You are posted abroad. Beijing, Moscow, maybe a small office in Southeast Asia. You wear a good suit purchased with government funds. You eat at restaurants that your countrymen will never see. You walk streets full of shops stocked with goods that don't exist back home. You see how the rest of the world lives. You see that everything you were taught was a lie. This is the most dangerous moment of your career. Not because anyone is threatening you, but because the truth is threatening you. The truth about your country, about the system, about the mythology you were raised inside. You see ordinary people in Beijing living better than the Pyongyang elite. You see South Korean tourists laughing and free and speaking your language. They look like you. They could be you. The only difference is which side of a line their grandparents happened to be standing on in 1953. You push it down. You lock it away. You have a family back home. Your wife, your children, your parents. They are hostages. The regime doesn't use that word, but that's what they are. If you defect, they go to the camps. All of them. 3 generations. Your 6-year-old daughter, your 70-year-old mother. Everyone. So you stay loyal. You file your reports. You attend diplomatic functions and smile and defend the regime to foreigners who look at you with pity or confusion. You also do other work. You arrange the shipment of goods that the supreme leader wants. Luxury items, French cognac, Swiss watches, Italian suits, Japanese electronics. These shipments violate international sanctions. They are smuggled through front companies and shell corporations. You facilitate this because the supreme leader's comfort is a matter of national security. His happiness keeps the system stable. His unhappiness makes people disappear. Level 8. The Party Elite. You are a senior official in the Korean Workers' Party. You work in the Central Committee, or the Organization and Guidance Department, the real center of power in North Korea. Not the military, not the cabinet, not the Supreme People's Assembly, the OGD. This is where decisions are made. This is where careers are ended. This is where people are chosen to live or die. You live in a compound in Pyongyang reserved for officials of your rank. Your apartment is large by Korean standards. You have reliable electricity, hot water, a refrigerator stocked with imported food. Your children attend elite schools. Your wife shops at stores reserved for the party leadership. You have a car and a driver. You vacation at resorts on the East Coast that ordinary citizens don't know exist. You attend meetings where the future of 25 million people is decided by a dozen men in a room. You discuss economic policy, knowing the economy is a fiction. You discuss military strategy, knowing the military is a parade force. You discuss food production, knowing the numbers on the page have no relationship to reality. Everything is performance. The meetings are theater. The real decisions are made by one person, and everyone in the room knows it. You have survived 3 purges. You survived because you were not ambitious enough to be noticed, and not incompetent enough to be blamed. You kept your head down. You agreed with everything. You volunteered for nothing. You attached yourself to no faction. Factions rise and fall. The supreme leader encourages rivalry among his officials, because rivals watch each other, and frightened men don't plot. You watched colleagues dragged from their offices. You attended mandatory rallies where their crimes were read aloud. You clapped. You always clap. The sound of clapping in North Korea is the sound of survival. Level 9. The Kim family. You are blood. You share the name that is worshipped like a religion across 120,000 square kilometers of mountains and rice paddies and prison camps. You are part of the Mount Pektu bloodline, the sacred revolutionary family, the closest thing to divinity that this country recognizes. You grew up in compounds that don't appear on any map. You were educated by private tutors. You spent years abroad, in Switzerland, in China, in Russia. You skied in the Alps and shopped in Singapore and ate in restaurants in Paris, while your countrymen ate bark soup. You know exactly how the world works. You know exactly what your country is. You have no illusions. You also have no freedom. Every member of the Kim family is a potential rival. Every cousin is a potential threat to whoever sits on the throne. Kim Jong-un had his own uncle executed, dragged from a meeting and shot. He had his half-brother assassinated with nerve agent in a foreign airport. These were not strangers. These were family. Blood means nothing when power is at stake. Blood makes you dangerous. You perform loyalty constantly. You attend every ceremony, every memorial, every parade. You bow at the statues. You weep at the appropriate moments. You worship publicly and elaborately because anything less is suspicion, and suspicion is death. You are the most privileged and the most trapped people in the country. Your cage is made of gold and marble, and it is still a cage. Level 10. The Supreme Leader. You sit at the top of 25 million lives. Your word is law. Your photograph hangs in every room in the country. Your birthday is a national holiday. Your opinions on agriculture, music, architecture, nuclear physics, and basketball are treated as divine revelation. Schools teach your childhood accomplishments. Newspapers print your daily schedule as if it were scripture. Grown men and women fall to their knees and sob when they see you in person. You are Kim Jong-un. You are barely 40. You inherited this country like a family business passed down from your grandfather to your father to you. The business is 25 million human lives and an arsenal of nuclear weapons, and a network of prison camps, and an economy that runs on fear and foreign currency and crystal meth. You have executed hundreds of officials since you took power. You had your own family members killed. You have tested nuclear weapons and launched missiles over foreign countries and threatened to turn entire cities into ash. The world calls you a madman. You are not mad. You are calculating. Every execution is a message. Every missile test is a negotiation. Every act of cruelty is a strategy for survival. Because you know the moment you appear weak, the people around you will tear you apart. You live in palaces surrounded by guards who would die for you or kill you, depending on who gives the order. You eat imported food prepared by personal chefs while your people starve. You watch NBA basketball on a private theater system while your citizens are executed for watching South Korean soap operas. You own yachts and luxury cars and private islands while your country begs for foreign aid. And you are terrified. You are terrified every single day because you know the system only works as long as fear holds it together. You know the generals smile but scheme. You know the officials agree but resent. You know the people worship but don't believe. You know that one crack in the wall, one moment of weakness, one wrong decision could bring everything crashing down. And when it crashes, there will be no exile for you, no quiet retirement, no mercy. The people you have starved and imprisoned and terrorized for decades will not be forgiving. So you tighten your grip. You purge another general. You test another missile. You remind the world that you have nuclear weapons. You remind your people that you are a god. You sit alone in a room, in a palace, in a country that worships you, and you trust no one and nothing. And you wonder sometimes if this is all there is. Power without peace. Control without connection. A throne that is also a cage. Somewhere in a village in the mountains, a child is being born right now. The state is assigning them a number in the Songbun system. Their class, their future, their entire life determined before they draw their first breath. They will grow up worshiping your face on the wall. They will sing songs about your family. They will believe you are a god, because that is the only thing they will ever be taught. And you will never meet them. You will never know their name. But their life and your life are locked together in a system that neither of you can escape. They are at the bottom looking up. You are at the top looking down. And neither of you is free. The cycle continues.